Welcome to In Your Neighborhood. I'm your host, Jennifer Wakeman. Our first story tonight introduces you to the people behind Haven to Home, a dog rescue organization with a very unique approach to caring for abandoned or neglected dogs. Haven to Home was begun in May of 2008 by a group of local people who saw the need for another option for homeless dogs.
There was a small group of us, maybe 6 or 8 of us, that were always involved in animal causes and whatever for many, many years. But we all volunteered at another local dog rescue shelter south of Sunbury, and we spent a lot of time and energy there. And it seemed like there was such a need for more that we decided if we actually went off on our own and started an additional canine rescue, we thought we could place many, many more dogs, and probably at a faster pace.
In their first 18 months, Haven to Home adopted out more than 200 dogs. Part of the reason they have so many available is due to the limited number of spots open in local shelters.
The need has increased because of the economy, the hardships for people. Our local Danville SPCA, if people are aware that a couple months ago they decided to go no-kill, which we love, but what that has done immediately is put pressure on people if they have to move and they can't take their dog or cat, or if an older person has to go to a nursing home or passes away or whatever, or someone dies, or there's no place to take any animals.
What that means is that dog owners who can no longer care for their pet for whatever reason are resorting to drastic measures.
And what we're seeing is less humane treatment because people are desperate, and if there's no rescue to take them and SPCA won't take them because there's a waiting list, what happens is they're dumping their dogs
and cats
in cornfields, along highways, just letting them go.
Now that word is spreading about Haven to Home, it is often owners themselves who are calling to find shelter for their pet.
Typically, an owner will put a phone call in if they know about us, and then sometimes they've already tried the SPCA. Through referrals and so on, they get our number and they call us. Typically what we do is we get a volunteer to go out and do a home visit and evaluate that dog, and if the dog seems as though its temperament is such that we could adopt it out, we try to bring it into our program and place it into a foster home if we have one available.
Haven to Home's fostering program is what makes them unique. Rather than putting dogs into a kennel, they are placed in a foster home while awaiting adoption into a permanent home.
Foster homes work with our dogs. They keep them socialized. A dog that's behind a chain link fence or in a kennel for any length of time, you don't get to see their real personality. They change. Now, they might be perfectly fine getting them out of that enclosure and taking them for a walk, but most people don't give them a chance. When they see them jumping at the fence, that's not the dog for me. And our foster homes are just working wonderfully.
To foster a dog, you need to complete an application, and someone from Haven to Home will visit you to discuss the program. Many fosters only take certain breeds or prefer not to take large dogs. I sat down with a couple who have chosen to be a foster family for Haven to Home. Melissa and Robert Rowse have 5 dogs of their own and often have 2 or 3 fosters. That's a lot of dogs. So many that I even had to get down on the floor and play with them. It is completely the Rouse's choice to have that many furry friends around the house. In fact, they are what Haven to Home lovingly refers to as failed foster parents, because they adopted a couple of the dogs sent to them as foster animals.
We have the room to do it. We enjoy the animals, so we just, said we would do it. We would foster. So I guess initially we failed, like they said, a few times because we kept some, but we're at the non-failing point now.
Because they live on a farm, the Rouses choose to have more than one foster dog at a time.
We have 10 acres and it's all fenced in, so actually when I go to work, Rob is here with the dogs and he takes them out and he does all the chores with them, and so during the day they're outside getting exercise, and at night they come in and they go to bed.
As you can see, they happen to prefer larger dogs, so that is what Haven to Home gives them as foster animals. There is some responsibility as a foster parent for Haven to Home.
So we do try and work on basic commands, sit and come, and try and at least teach them a name. If they were a stray and we didn't know what their name was before, we would name them, and just get them to learn to walk a little bit on the leash, because a lot of times that pulling on the leash is it could be just troublesome to a family that would be adopting the dog.
All the foster dogs with Haven to Home receive vet care, which includes testing and treatment for fleas and ticks, Lyme's disease, and heartworm, as well as either spaying or neutering. It is the foster family's responsibility to get the dog to the vet appointments and to provide a quiet environment for them to heal after their surgery. The vet care is paid for through adoption fees, and spaying or neutering is often funded directly by PA Pets. I asked the Rouses if it was hard to give up a dog after having it in the family.
There's always more that need it. So you may miss a particular dog for a little while or something, but then, something else is, there's another dog that needs a home for a while.
We're happy that they found a home. We're just happy that someone is willing to take them into their own home. Because they're all great dogs, so they all just need loving.
For the most part, a foster family doesn't have a dog for more than about 3 months. Between their website, area adopt-a-thons, weekly listings in the Milton Standard, and word of mouth, Haven to Home is able to match dogs with new homes fairly quickly. Having a foster family who can answer questions about a dog is an added benefit to folks considering adoption.
Most of the time it's about their behavior. Do they have any food aggressions? Are they going into the trash? Are they beating up the other dogs? Do they chase after the cats? Do they chase after the chickens? That kind of what we can see.
The next step in the process is for the dog to meet the family interested in adoption.
A lot of times we'll meet folks, or they'll come and meet the dog, or we'll meet them somewhere with the dog, and that's more, well, maybe this dog just isn't for us, or so that's really the next step. Sometimes they do like it, sometimes they don't like the dog, which is fine. So the end of it is you really need to like the dog. Don't take it because you think you have to.
Matching dogs with prospective owners is an important step and is part of the reason why Haven to Home is so successful in placing animals.
The adoption ladies normally will say, okay, I see that you guys like to go hiking. You're looking at a beagle. She's really not going to hike more than a half a mile up the hill. Maybe you might want to think about a collie or a Springer Spaniel or another different breed.
Some of the things to consider when looking for a dog to adopt are your lifestyle, your expectations, and the space you have available. A team of people from Haven to Home are dedicated to helping find the right dog for your home. Ultimately, Haven to Home, which is a registered 501c3 charity, would like to have a permanent facility, not to kennel any dogs, but to use as a way station for animals.
It would be wonderful if we had a home. We'd like to have a location, a permanent building, office. We'd love to have a grooming area. We'd like to have an educational place to educate people, have them come and meet some dogs there, spend some time with them. That's one of our goals.
And maybe a temporary holding area for dogs that are being brought in as strays possibly, so we can segregate them for a while, make sure their health is what it should be, and evaluate them before we place them into a foster home.
Because fostering is an integral part of Haven to Home's process, there is always a need for additional foster families.
We try to do what we can, but we're limited by the number of foster homes we have, so we really need good foster people.
Haven to Home has adopted dogs out to people from as far away as New York, Philadelphia, Connecticut, and New Jersey. There is lots of information available on their website, www.haventohome.petfinder.com, including how to become a foster parent for a dog, how to adopt, and what dogs they have available right now. I'm Jennifer WAKEMAN. It's the middle of winter, and I'm playing golf.